Let's look at 2027. Aaron Rodgers plays in 2026. They're all expecting this to go very well. It's a veteran team, him playing in a system he's very familiar with. What's next? I think both quarterbacks, the youngsters, are going to benefit greatly. This would be his second year for Will Howard to be playing underneath Aaron Rodgers. And then Drew Allar, who they picked in the third round, gets an opportunity to sit and learn from Aaron Rodgers. Now, Rodgers has been very open, actually, in his early comments that he is going to mentor both of these young quarterbacks the way he did Will Howard a season ago. And he'd like to add Drew Allar into the mix. And if they're going to pay attention to what he has to say, which, guys, I think you should, he's willing to teach as much as he can. I think those two are going to battle it out a lot this offseason. They want to see what they have in both of these young guys. Now, if Aaron Rodgers didn't come back in 2026, there's definitely some people I talked to that believe Will Howard would have been possibly the guy, would have been QB1 for them. But do they believe he's going to be their quarterback in 2027, 28, 29, 30, the next 10 years? Well, if they were sold on that, I'm not sure they'd draft Drew Allar, who has a much higher ceiling than Will Howard. You know what I'm saying? So they're still evaluating what they can have at the position in 27. They're really teaching a lot of things for Drew Allar. Not really his mechanics up top, throwing the football, to my understanding. It's the lower half, it's the footwork, it's everything down at the bottom to see if they can get more out of a guy that has probably more talent than Will Howard. But a lot of people will tell you, bigger game, bigger stage. Will Howard really produced in those settings, and I think there's a lot of people in that building that like Howard. I'll throw you a curveball as well. The next quarterback for this team most certainly could be not on this roster right now. I take a look at the supplemental draft, and this is just me thinking outside the box here. There's a chance that Brendan Sorsby winds up in the supplemental draft. If NCAA does not allow him back and suspends his eligibility, there's a very good chance that he could file paperwork by June 22nd, that's the deadline, and be in the supplemental draft by the end of July. There are people that I've talked to when I was going through my draft prep, looking at these quarterbacks and just asking random questions about the 27 quarterbacks that said, two different offensive coordinators said to me, I think Brendan Sorsby is going to be the number one pick in the draft. That's their opinion. The arm talents like Mahomes or Caleb Williams, he's a great athlete. He checks a ton of boxes. And there are some people in the NFL that thought there's a very good chance he's one of the first quarterbacks, if not the first quarterback taken in this upcoming draft. If he enters the supplemental draft, you can get your chance at him in July. Is any team going to give up a first-round pick in that supplemental draft for him? I'm not sure. But does a team give a second-round pick? I certainly think a lot of teams might do that. And I know a lot of teams are kicking the tires on Sorsby because of the talent I just mentioned. If the Steelers' 2026 season goes the way that they think it goes, and Aaron Rodgers plays very well, they're not picking anywhere near the top of the draft in 2027. So do the Steelers look at the supplemental draft and go Brendan Sorsby for our second round pick, or maybe even their first round pick? They go, if it goes the way we think, we can't have a shot at a quarterback this talented. Let's take him in the supplemental draft. That's my outside the box thinking and a way to get Brendan Sorsby into this show because it is a very unique story. We haven't had anybody taken in the supplemental draft in some time. I think 2019 was the last time. This quarterback is as talented as maybe anybody coming out in this next draft. Does somebody like the Steelers take a flyer? The Cardinals, the Dolphins say, we're going to get, end of July, we're going to get this guy in our building and see what it's about. I think that's going to be something we're definitely going to have to keep our eye on.